Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so I haven't done a shop update for a while, and I think let's go for it. So we're gonna be doing a panel shop update on a couple of videos on a couple of cars, right? So this is upside down, you guys are never gonna. Firstly, it's hard to recognize the cars because they're all blasted, and the mere fact that this guy's upside down is you're not gonna get a chance to even recognize it. This here is the shadow line that came in. So the car came in as a shell, right? And it's actually sprayed white if I'm not mistaken, but the color that we're going on this guy is a aero silver. And I believe that is the correct color for the car. Anyway, car was blasted down. We started with the roof, we started putting and filing, but we know that we've got a lot of rust areas. So it's not as bad as the other cars that came in, but we've got a lot of rust areas to tackle on this car. So we got it onto the rotisserie, got it nice and balanced out, and you can actually see that we're able to swing this car easily on the rotisserie. So I think she might be locked in now, which is actually easy to swing over, and that's because she's balanced out. So I actually just want to take you through quickly on what we're going to be doing with regards to the rust areas. So let's just start here quickly, right? On the floor plan, this guy isn't a bad car, but there's a lot of, and we actually haven't done a rust video for ages. Okay, so this guy isn't a bad car, right? But we've got a lot of rust creeping up all over the show. So this is on the floorboard here, right? It's creeping up here, and you can see it's starting to creep up underneath, right? We've got rust to sort out here. The floorboard under the pedal, so under the driver's side pedal, you can't see it over here, but we've got a patch of rust to sort out there. I'll actually turn the car for you now, so you can see how the interior looks and what we can see from the interior. The rear floorboard is actually where this guy is battling a lot, and you can see it's starting to tear out basically onto a certain patch, right? So we've still got to get this side cleaned out nicely, and I'll take you through the back and we'll see how we've cleaned it out, just to see how much of rust we're dealing with, where the rust is creeping to, how far it's creeping to, and where we need to start making the panels up from. By the way, I got new mics. So for everybody that shouted me on the last video, which I don't blame you guys for, the audio was really crappy and I highly apologize. There's a brand new set of mics that I bought, and I only found the audio issue out when I was editing. So I really apologize for that. So anyway, we got rust on the rear floorboard there. We got rust patches over here, and you'll see it's all marked out. But this is rust creeping in, so it looks like small areas, but it's creeping in. It needs to get seen to. Right, that's rust there. Now you'll see over here. This is the beauty part about when the car is fully balanced out on a rotisserie. It's not going to swing the way it shouldn't swing. Right, so we've got it braced in certain points. We can see we've got our extra legs on the rotisserie, extra mounting points, and it helps out with that. But it just makes life so much easier. Lucian is getting nervous here behind the camera. Now I see the tools there. So, okay. The battery trays on this car are shot completely, right? And that side is not too bad, but this was the bad side. So this here, I think he took his old plates out. But this here was actually shot quite badly. That's fine. Is it here? Oh, yes, it is. So this battery tray was actually quite bad, right? And this is totally rotten. So we are at the point now where we're trying to figure out which route are we taking basically to tackle this here. So a battery tray is not like what people think. It's just a flat plate at the bottom, and you've got your uprights on the side. If you have a look here, this is actually two plates made up together. So these are two factory plates made up together with a seam. I'm not too sure what the idea was behind the seam, but anyway, it is like that. And there is a difference between chrome bumper and plastic bumper battery trays. So we've taken the battery tray out. We've allocated an area where we are going to cut it out here, but now we need to tackle this area here, right, as well. And you can see there's rust on this side here of it. So Lucian will show you just now. There's rust on that side there. We've got rust all over here. So our fabricator is going to tackle it in certain stages, and he's going to work systematically with it, basically. So the first area that he's going to tackle is basically the bracket itself. So we're going to make up the first bracket, and then we're going to make up the second bracket, get that into position. Once we're not going to tack it in or do anything at that point, but then we're going to come out and redo this area here, make up the plate over here, make up the inside plate, then we'll get that tacked in. Once that is tacked in, we will attempt the lower fender area. So this is a little bit intricate because you've got curvature, you've got curvatures basically on this panel, right? So you've got a round curve on here, and then you've got a bead bend into it with another curve. So we're going to handle it, we're going to tackle it strategically and see from there where to go. So on the same car, we've got, there's a couple of issues. So this guy's actually not a very bad car, right? But the history with this guy is this guy got stripped down, and the car got stripped down, and Lucy, if you can come this side for me. The car got stripped down, and there's a lot of there was a lot of abuse on the car. Abuse meaning that a car was standing outside and people came out and stripped the harness up. They stole stuff from the car. So it is a 086 shadow line, and we want to try and get it back to original. So we're also going to tackle this tear over here, but it's just a tear. So it's not major rust or anything of the sort. And then something happened over here. This is going to be a little bit tricky. This is going to be a bit tricky here. So we're still going to try and figure out what to do here. Sort out this tear here. And I'm just going to turn the car a little bit. There's tools at the bottom of the car, so I don't really want to disturb it. Okay. If you have a look at the floor is quite good. The battery trays, on another battery trays, the speaker boards in here, I'm still going to work out and see if I am going to get to it. I'm going to show you speaker boards on the red IS now that we've actually fabricated, and it came out very well. Obviously, this area of the car we've got to tackle. These speaker boards, that's a question mark there. And then basically the rest of the floors. So the car is actually a good car, but if you can zoom in there to the accelerator pedal, you'll actually see what I'm talking about, where we can't see the rust at the bottom of the car, but you can clearly see it here. So you can clearly see the rust issues over there. Right, so that takes care of this baby. Okay, so this car on the other end is the red Evo 1 325 IS. So this car was featured with a gold wheel on it. Was a turbo car before, gone back to aspirated, and we're basically going through the whole rest of it. So we've went through the body on it. I've done a metal update for you guys on this car. We've also not a bad car, one of the good cars, but it had a couple of niggly issues here and there. We've primed the vehicle, we've sealed the vehicle. So I've done the metal work on it, and I've chosen to seal the vehicle, the exterior of it. We haven't done the interior as yet because we still had work to do on the backboard. So if we remember correctly, this backboard was cut out for speakers. Basically, there was a square cutout in the center, and there were 6x9 cutouts on the edges. And we've had to go and refabricate basically to get it as close to possible as original. And this is how it's come out so far. So we've ground down. We haven't really cleaned up as much as we should. We still got to come and clean up there. But we've basically got a full sturdy backboard onto the car again, re-braced it where it's supposed to be braced and not cut out. And this is going to be the challenge, especially on the shadow line, because all the cars have to get these backboards. We can come with a single round speaker cutout, which I think is 5 1/4 inch. There'll be a single speaker cutout, but I don't think this guy is going to get speakers. So for me, I'd prefer not to get the cutouts for now. And that's just the compressor. Okay, apologize for that. So I'd prefer for it not to get the cutouts. The car is still wrapped up. I don't really want the primer section of the car to get dusty and damaged. So the car is wrapped up. But Lucia, if you can just peep into the interior for me quickly. We've done a lot of work on this side of the car. We've done a lot of repair work on the front there, and that is done as well. This rear fender had work done to it. that got lead filled, shaped up, and so on. Then we move on to the E28. So this is the E28 that I've been busy with for a while. Same E28 that's going to get a multi-valve motor in it. And we finally got the body. This body was a bit of a mission to deal with, but we finally got the body where I think where we want it, and we're almost ready for paint. So Lush, I think take it from the back for me. You can just show the line on the body. So we got this guy ready for paint. We're on our last phase of primer. We've still got a couple of spots to touch up on. And yeah, she looks good. The color that we settled for on this guy is actually glacier blue. So I've actually got a nice blue interior for this car. I'll picture it if I can. So it's a Ricardo interior from the E28s, but non-electric. And we're going to play with a nice color combo on this vehicle. So this guy's ready for paint, and we're hoping to take paint early next week. Okay, so this is the Bauer. This here is our British Racing Green Bauer. That's the color that we're going for on this car. This car, if you guys remember, you guys are not going to remember, so I'm going to explain to you quickly. This car was cut and joined basically through the center, through the front, issues with the tower, and so on like that. And we spent a lot of time, quite a lot of time, and it's been a bit tedious, right? But we finally got this car ready for its final phase of primer. So back is looking good. The back is looking square and straight. The side of the car looking good. We've got a feather skin of body filler basically where we needed to. This is just a patch up on metal, right? And then we're still going to do a metal prep up on it and then get it ready for its sealer phase. We've had to skin some filler, some bondo basically on the inside of the car, grind down, re-weld, re-stitch, because the car had a cut and joint running right through the car all the way to the back of the vehicle. We've squared the car, we've gone through the welds are good. The car is now rigid and sturdy, and we're ready for paint on the car. Not for paint, for primer. However, we've still got to get onto the chassis machine because, and this is why we haven't tackled the side of the shock tower as yet. So as far as I understand, the whole car, the whole front of the car is pulled to the right. So we've got to straighten this car out first. Our measurements on the shock towers are totally out. Straighten the car out first, and then I can come back and start neatening up and panel beating out this area, clean up this area, and we should be good. The front valence is basically just the test valence that we're using on the car. This guy here, the front chassis leg was totally mangled. So what we actually had to do on this guy is we've had to pull the chassis, the bumper shock mounting socket out of here. We've had to pull it out so we could rebuild this guy up. This guy was mangled in completely. We had to rebuild this guy up, so you'll see all the scuff marks all the way around. Rebuild it up basically and refit the mounting point. We had to do the same thing on the side here as well. Okay. So over here we've got our red Evo 2. So this is the HP2 car, and this is part of the issues that I picked up basically on the body working sections and so on like that, and part of the drama that I'm still sorting out. And we've had this car basically ready on our first stage of primer, second stage of primer on, and the second stage of primer started exposing a whole lot of defects on the car, right, that I really don't want to sort out with Bondo. So I've made a decision basically to come back down. So this is how it was after our second stage of primer. And we've got a couple of issues. We've got a couple of spots over here, and this is where quality control comes in, where if I don't come in okay it, or if Atul doesn't come in okay it, and we go on somebody's word, we get these issues. So unfortunately from our side is this year will be another round of school fees, lessons to be learned. But this is why we've got to be full of crap, and we've got to be hands-on, and it takes us extra longer. We've had to actually scale the company down and work with a smaller team basically, just to control the quality control of it. So this is how the car looked. I picked up a couple of issues on it, so we've got to come and skin this guy back down to metal like we've done on that side there. I've got a couple of, you can see the car is ready, seam sealed and ready basically for its final primer, but we've had to skim down to metal right? And go through those minute dents. Then you'll see over certain areas, this is still the old primers on it, right? And we're still going to go through here. You can see we've got our guide coats. This is guide coat that you got on it. You can see here. And this here is the second stage of primer on it. So we had high spots, low spots, and like stupid things, man. This is things that you can't get away with. And I just made a decision to say, instead of rushing the car for paint, just get it back down, start again, is what it is. This here is our black 325 IS that I stripped up not too long ago. This guy was standing all the time, and we finally started making headway on the vehicle, and we're going back. We're on metal, but we basically pinning and filing down all the way. So you can have a look at our panel here. We've got a nice straight panel here. We've got a couple of nicks over here, nicks and crannies over here. Right? So I'll make decisions as to if we're gonna use lead to fill that, or how we're gonna work that out. I see our guys are still busy over here. There's a couple of waves in here, so he's got to take this fender off, and he's got to come and file this fender down properly. And the same in the front. So he's just started that. This guy is not an rotisserie, so Lucian, you'll have to get over onto the roof for me. The roof has been done as well. That's been pinned and filed, ground down, and that is prep ready. With regards to the back fender here, this fender has been done. It looks good. I can't really feel anything. We've done a check coat. We've done our guide coats on it. That, and she feels good. If there is a wave, there will be a minute wave or a minute dent that we might just have to skin a little bit of Bondo over, but it's nothing major. It's not thick Bondo or anything of the sort. We are, however, going to use a little bit of lead over here, because this here is in an area that you cannot use a dolly. So this dent over here, and you can see there is old lead on the car here. So we will come and lead out here. And look at the back panel. The back valence is done. That looks good. There is a couple of issues on this side here. There's a couple of sections here where, and this is that gray area that I always hate on these E30s. And the reason I hate it is because you cannot get a dolly behind here, right? No matter what you try and do, because you've got your inner arch and your outer arch. And it's a problem. So I've made a decision to say, you know what, we're not going to risk taking the fender off, right? Just because of these guys here. So we've pulled them out as far as we can. This is where we're standing now. We are going to lead fill these areas here, file them down, and yeah. But besides for those two areas, the panel looks good. Looks like we're ready on this side here, and it looks like we're ready on the front as well. So we actually made very good headway on the front of the car. So remember, you don't want to file. You don't want to just keep on pushing with the filing. So here's one big dent over here. Here's one big dent over here, and we've still got to tackle this guy. Right? So sometimes you can actually feel waves, the line on this here still got to get seen to. So there's some work that's got to be done on the fenders, but this guy's quite far. So I think once we're done on here, we're left with bonnet, doors, and boot lid, and then we're able to start with our metal, basically start with our metal prep on the car. Okay, so let's move over into the booth where we actually got a car there. I'm not going to touch too much because I am dusty, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to swear me. I know my brother swore me the other day because I haven't painted the walls, but it's just time is an issue. The walls are clean. It's just the oversprays from the previous paint jobs, but I need to get to it. I need to strip this booth out and really go through it. But time is just an issue. So anyway, this is the white IS that was supposed to be restored before we started with this car a while back. Actually, this is part of one of our backlog cars. Also, a lot of issues on the body on this vehicle. This guy had full rust repairs done on it. I've done previous videos on it, and I'll try and dump the links in the description. But we're basically ready for paint now. So she's still due for its last wipe down. Panels are looking good. You can have a look at the line there. Those panels are looking good. We've done a check on it. And this is going ice white. So it's Alpine white, but ice white. So if I'm not mistaken, it's Alpine white 2. Doors are kept separately. We're spraying the doors, we're hanging the doors this time around, and we're spraying the doors. Fenders, bonnet get sprayed on the car just so we try and keep a consistent flow of, just to try and keep a consistent flow of the color. And yeah, but she looks good. She just needs a proper wipe down. And I think it's going to be a late night with this car. So the lines look good. I'd like to see how this car comes out with the new setup. We haven't done an ice white with our current mixtures. So let's see. She looks good. She looks good. Yeah, guys, so anyway, let us end it up here. Let us wrap it up. I'm going to do another shop update next week in the assembly shop. We're actually making good headway there. We've changed a lot of structures around, so things should speed up. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I shall see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.